यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Srimad Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON founder Acharya, BBD founder Acharya, Seven the whole world, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Sri Rup Sri Sanatana Bhatt Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhupada ki Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Samved Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki all glories to simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome all of you for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class, morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, Text 15. Antaḥ-sarasy uru-balena, antaḥ-sarasy uru-balena, antaḥ-sarasy uru-balena, pade gṛhīto, grāheṇa yūtha-patir, ambuja-hasta ārtaḥ, grāheṇa yūtha-patir ambuja-hasta ārtaḥ, āhedam ādi-puruṣākhila-loka-nātha, āhedam ādi-puruṣākhila-loka-nātha, tīrtha-śravaḥ śravaṇa-maṅgala-nāmadheya, antaḥ-sarasy uru-balena pade gṛhīto, grāheṇa yūtha-patir ambuja-hasta ārtaḥ, āhedam ādi-puruṣākhila-loka-nātha, tīrtha-śravaḥ śravaṇa-maṅgala-nāmadheya. antaḥ-sarasy uru-balena pade gṛhīto, grāheṇa yūtha-patir ambuja-hasta ārtaḥ, āhedam ādi-puruṣākhila-loka-nātha, tīrtha-śravaḥ śravaṇa-maṅgala-nāmadheya. antaḥ-sarasy uru-balena pade gṛhīto, grāheṇa yūtha-patir ambuja-hasta ārtaḥ, āhedam ādi-puruṣākhila-loka-nātha, tīrtha-śravaḥ śravaṇa-maṅgala-nāmadheya. antaḥ-sarasy uru-balena pade gṛhīto, grāheṇa yūtha-patir ambuja-hasta ārtaḥ, ādi-puruṣākhila-loka-nātha, tīrtha-śravaḥ śravaṇa-maṅgala-nāmadheya. Vaishnavis. Word to word meaning. Antaḥ-sarasy, within the river. Uru-balena, by superior strength. Pade, leg. Gṛhītaḥ, being taken up. Grāheṇa, by the crocodile. Yūtha-patir, of the leader of elephants. Ambuja-hasta, with the lotus flower in the hand. ārtaḥ, greatly aggrieved. Addressed. Idam, like this. Ādi-puruṣa, the original enjoyer. akhila-loka-nātha, the Lord of the universe. tīrtha-śravaḥ, as famous as a place of pilgrimage. śravaṇa-maṅgala, all good simply by hearing the name. nāma-dheya, whose holy name is worth chanting. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Abhay-charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Translation. The leader of the elephants, whose leg was attacked in a river by a crocodile of superior strength, was much aggrieved. Taking a lotus flower in his trunk, he addressed the Lord, saying, O original enjoyer, O Lord of the universe, O deliverer, as famous as place of pilgrimage, all are purified simply by hearing your holy name, which is worthy to be chanted. Please repeat after me. The leader of the elephants, whose leg was attacked in a river by a crocodile of superior strength, was much aggrieved. Taking a lotus flower in his trunk, he addressed the Lord, saying, O original enjoyer, Lord of the universe, O deliverer, as famous as a place of pilgrimage, all are purified simply by hearing your holy name, which is worthy to be chanted. Purport. The history of delivering the leader of the elephants, whose leg was attacked in the river by the superior strength of a crocodile, is described in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Since the Lord is absolute knowledge, there is no difference between His holy name and the personality of Godhead. The leader of the elephants was much distressed when he was attacked by the crocodile. Although the elephant is always stronger than the crocodile, the latter is stronger than the elephant when it is in the water. And because the elephant was a great devotee of the Lord in his previous birth, he was able to chant the holy name of the Lord by dint of his past good deeds. Every living entity is always distressed in this material world, because this place is such that at every step one has to meet with some kind of distress. But one who is supported by his past good deeds engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7:16. Those who are supported by impious acts cannot be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, even though they are distressed. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7:15. The personality of Godhead, Hari, appeared at once on the back of its eternal bearer Garuda, that delivered the elephant. The elephant was conscious of its relation with the Supreme Lord. He addressed the Lord as ādi-puruṣa, or the original enjoyer. Both the Lord and the living beings are conscious and are therefore enjoyers. But the Lord is the original enjoyer because He is the creator of everything. In a family, both the father and his sons are undoubtedly enjoyers. But the father is the original enjoyer. And the sons are subsequent enjoyers. A pure devotee knows well that everything in the universe is the property of the Lord, and that a living entity can enjoy a thing as ordained by the Lord. A living being cannot even touch a thing which is not allotted to him. This idea of original enjoyer is explained very nicely in the Upanishad. One who knows the difference between the Lord and himself never accepts anything without first offering it to the Lord. The elephant addressed the Lord as akhila-loka-nātha, or the Lord of the universe, who is therefore the Lord of the elephant also. The elephant, being a pure devotee of the Lord, is specifically deserved to be saved from the attack of crocodile, because it is a promise of the Lord that his devotee will never be vanquished. It was quite befitting that the elephant called upon the Lord to protect him. And the merciful Lord also at once responded. The Lord is the protector of everyone, but He is the first protector of one who acknowledges the superiority of the Lord, instead of being so falsely proud as to deny the superiority of the Lord, to claim to be equal to Him. He is ever superior. A pure devotee of the Lord knows this difference between the Lord and himself. Therefore, a pure devotee is given first preference because of his full dependence. Whereas the person who denies the existence of the Lord and declares himself the Lord is called Asura. And as such, he is given protection by the strength of limited power, subject to the sanction of the Lord. Since the Lord is superior to everyone, His perfection is also superior. No one can imagine it. The elephant addressed the Lord as tīrtha-śravaḥ, or as famous as a place of pilgrimage. People go to the place of pilgrimage in order to be delivered from the reactions of unknown sinful acts. But one can be freed from all sinful reactions simply by remembering His holy name. The Lord is therefore as good as the holy places of pilgrimage. One can be free from all sinful reactions after reaching a place of pilgrimage. But one can have the same benefit at home or at any place simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. For a pure devotee, there is no need to go to the holy place of pilgrimage. He can be delivered from all sinful acts simply by remembering the Lord in earnestness. A pure devotee of the Lord never commits any sinful acts, but because the whole world is full of sinful atmosphere, even a pure devotee may commit a sin unconsciously. As a matter of course, one who commits sinful acts consciously cannot be worthy of being a devotee of the Lord. But a pure devotee who unconsciously does something sinful is certainly delivered by the Lord, because a pure devotee remembers the Lord always. The Lord's holy name is called śravaṇa-maṅgala. This means that one receives everything auspicious simply by hearing the holy name. In another place, in Srimad Bhagavatam, His holy name is described as punya-śravana-kirtana. It is a pious act simply to chant and hear all about the Lord. The Lord descends on this earth and acts like others in connection with the activities of the world, just to create subject matters for hearing about Him. Otherwise, the Lord has nothing to do in this world, nor has He any obligation to do anything. He comes out of His own causeless mercy and acts as He desires. The Vedas and Puranas are full of descriptions of His different activities, so that people in general may naturally be eager to hear and read something about his activities. Generally, however, the modern fictions and novels of the world occupy a greater part of people's valuable time. Such literatures cannot do good to anyone. On the contrary, they agitate the young mind unnecessarily and increase the mode of passion and ignorance, leading to increasing bondage to material conditions. The same aptitude for hearing and reading is better utilized in hearing and reading of the Lord's activities. This will give one all-around benefit. It is concluded, therefore, that the holy name of the Lord and topics in relation with Him are always worth hearing, and therefore He is called here in this verse nāma-dheya, or one whose holy name is worth chanting. This is the translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in connection of scheduled incarnation, Canto 2, Chapter 7, Text 15. Om ajnana-timirandhasya jnana-jana-shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yūtha-patir Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I am feeling very blessed to have this opportunity to glorify the Lord in association of all wonderful devotees here and the devotees who are hearing online. So even though I am not eligible to speak upon the exalted topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, but still, because it is ordained and given this order to glorify the Lord anyway, so that's why I've been here. So Hare Krishna, so I seek for the blessing for all of you, all assembled Vaishnavas, so that I could speak something worthy. Hare Krishna. So here is this descriptions of all the incarnations of the Lord is being given by Brahmaji to Narada Muni. As we have seen, the Lord has, Brahmaji has described that how Supreme Lord is origin of everything. All the universal creation, maintenance and destruction takes place by the Lord. And after that, Lord's internal potency is being enacted in different incarnations. So here, the incarnation of Gajendra is mentioned here. So Gajendra's incarnation took place in 4th Manvantar, where Lord appears as Hari and he delivers Gajendra. A very short pastime. Lord has different types of pastimes. In some pastimes, Lord stays for some number of years, right? and it has many reciprocations with the loving devotees. So many different rasas are seen dynamically, like reciprocated with his devotees. But here, simply one rasa or one or two rasa, Lord comes and just delivers Gajendra and finish. That's over. That's one incarnation. Say, Lord, it's on him, like how you want to reciprocate with his devotees. So in this particular particular pastime and the purport Srila Prabhupada is telling, so we can learn many things, but still I just segregated these into 3 lessons. First is that this is the position of every living entity. The Gajendra is representing all the living entities, all of us, and what is our condition into this material world. So we should be always remain aware about our condition into this material world. The first thing that Gajendra is teaching us. Second is that distress is good. Like we see in ads, what is that? There is an Hindi proverb in one of the ads, it comes, Daag achhe hain. Means some tents are there, that's good. So distress is also good. And third is, bhakti knows no material bounds. So these 3 things we shall be seeing. Now let's see what is our position. So here Gajendra is resident of a very beautiful place that's mentioned in 8th canto. So he is staying in a very wonderful mountain, its name is Trikut mountain. And this Trikut mountain is like surrounded by milk ocean. And very beautiful place. And he's king of all the elephants. King of all the elephants. And he's having a very good life there. Because he's king. King should have a good life, right? So this Gajendra is just, this description comes that out of his fear, even huge lions and tigers will run away. He's Gajendra. He's not ordinary. So he's such a powerful guy. Small animals, they will not care only because they know it. Gajendra will surely give me protection. So they will feel protected by Gajendra. He has such a magnanimous position in the jungle. And he has so many wives and so many small elephant children, and he's having very wonderful life, good life. And we see that out of so much of distress because so much of scorching sun, he happens to visit this place, Sarasy, that big, huge lake. So he visits there and he starts again enjoying the life. So yesterday there was a Ekadashi and we've been to Ganga because so much of hot, and we thought Ekadashi there, so let's go and cool ourselves, right? So many devotees went, so we also went. So all of a sudden we saw that we thought of getting relieved from hot, and there was a so huge wind and all that dust were flowing, everything. And we thought there will be like good soothing feelings, but devotees were shivering because of so much of cold. So here this Gajendra thought that he will enjoy, but all of a sudden he finds that there is a crocodile. So he starts enjoying nicely, he starts taking out the water and starts throwing upon the wives and the kids and all that. He enjoys very nicely because he's the king. He's supposed to enjoy. So here we have this parallel of our situation, that we are also into this material world which is predominated by Mother Durga. So this crocodile is just like, you can understand Mother Durga. It's Maya Devi. And what happens to him? This person? pade gṛhīto grāheṇa, uru-balena. So this material nature is very powerful. Very powerful. And we want to enjoy into this material world. But what happens? We become distressed. We go for getting enjoyment, but we'll end up getting more and more suffering. Grāheṇa yūtha-patir ambuja-hasta ārtaḥ. Ārtaḥ, he got distressful. Why? Because he took this material world to be a place of enjoyment. This is what normally conditioned souls, they take to be. This material world is supposed to be a place of our enjoyment. Material world, forgetting Krishna, sometimes, not many times also it has seen, even in devotional service also, we take Krishna to be the object of our sense gratification. Okay, let's enjoy a good life. Krishna consciousness, good life. Right. So, not understanding our real position, but putting ourselves into a very difficult position where as soon as we think ourselves that to be the enjoyer like this Gajendra, we are into a very dangerous situation. Very dangerous. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita tells that nikatastha maya tare jhapatiya dhare anadir bahirmukh jiv bhog vancha kare. So we are all living entities, we are just trying to enjoy. As soon as we desire to enjoy this material world, immediately this Maya Shakti is there, right beside us. We are not able to see. Just like this Gajendra, he went to water and he was not able to see. He was enjoying the life. But what is there inside? A crocodile. Crocodile also thought that this fellow is creating so much nuisance. Come on, hey, let's give some lesson to him, right? And that's what it happens, that we simply don't know what's going to come in just near future. Because we do not know in future what is going to happen. We simply think that according to my plan, like this it will go. And all of a sudden comes Yorker. And we are there suffering. So here this Gajendra is into huge trouble. And there was a struggle for 1,000 years. Not 1 year, 2 years, 1,000 years. And he is not ordinary elephant also. He is not ordinary, he is a Gajendra, right? So he was thinking that I will just give a kick and I will just get out of it. So he could not do it. So we are also suffering into this material world for not 1,000 years, for I don't know, we don't know how many millions of years. And we are thinking that we'll take care of this material energy. Let's enjoy it, and we'll take care of Krishna consciousness also. In future, what is there? Krishna consciousness is very simple, chanting 16 rounds every day, following 4 everyday principles. We can do it. Later, there is a lot of time. But what happens in this material world, as we are trying to enjoy and we are there in this material world, material energy increases in its power. We'd like to enjoy more, then we see the higher power, higher material energy actually acting upon us. That's what we see. This Gajendra is there in the water and he's thinking by himself that he will come out. He's trying from his own self that he will come out. Some or other he will take care of this crocodile. But what's happening in the due course of time, matter of time? Gajendra is getting weak and weaker and weaker. And this crocodile is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. This is our condition, that we are trying to sort out all this, whatever comes. First of all, we try our own, like, I'll do it. I'll be able to sort it out. Let me sort it out by my own self, without bringing Krishna. So what happens? Mayadi will never let you go. It may take millions and trillions of lifetimes also. And that's why it happens. Gajendra is getting weakened and weakened, and we see, ultimately, he finds that everybody left, all that sea elephant left and everybody left. So now at last he cries for the Lord. So material nature is very, very powerful. Srila Prabhupada gives the example that if there is a culprit, if there is some criminal, so if he tries to do some wrong thing, then what happens? The police constable comes. If he is able to even fight with police constable also, then what comes? Police comes. Then he sometimes he fights with the police also. Then what comes? Army comes. So who can win with the army? So similarly, material nature is very, very powerful. So for the living entities here, Gajendra is giving this lesson that one should immediately take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Immediately one should take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So distress is good in every situation. That's what the second thing we thought of discussing. Because distress is very spontaneous into this material world. Dukhalayam asasutam. And variety of kind of people are there into this material world. So distress is good because these distresses are burning all the sinful activities what we have accrued. Either one is only sinful, have no sukritis, as Srila Prabhupada is telling here. So those who are sukritivan, in distress they come to me. And those who are not sukritivan, they don't have any past credit. Past credit in Krishna conscious credit, I mean to say. So what do they do? If distresses come into their life also, it comes or not? Everybody's life distress comes. But those who are pious, who have little Krishna conscious credits, they take shelter of Supreme Lord. And those who are not, they simply become atheists. They become communists. That's what we see. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. So distress will come. Krishna is called Hari. He will take away. And if he will take away, then they will become atheists. It's one of the quotations Srila Prabhupada says. So, but pure devotee of the Lord, they're always Krishna conscious. Tomar sevaye dukkha hoye jato, seito param sukha. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that even though there is a distress in your service, O my Lord, that is great sukh, great bliss, opportunity of being blissful. That Lord, you are so merciful upon me that you are giving this stress so that I could remember you more and more intensely. So, in this way we can see for the pure devotees or else those who are trying to aspirant or become, so for them distress is always good. For everybody distress is good. Distress should be taken to be in a positive way, right? And thirdly, we thought of discussing that bhakti knows no material bounds, as we see in the life of Gajendra and the follower of Gajendra, bitter follower of Gajendra, crocodile. So this Gajendra, previously we know that he was a great king in South India. He's a Pandya king. His name was, what is his name? Indradumna or Prataprudra? Indradumna Maharaj. He was Indradumna Maharaj. So he happened to be a very great devotee of the Lord. He was, but still he had little dullness. Agastya Rishi comes to his house in his assembly, and he was doing all of that. He was little cold in the reciprocation. So Agastya Muni told him, you are so dull, you should become dull like elephant. So he happened to fall in the elephant's body. Elephant is supposed to be dull, we know. But because of his sukriti, he could take shelter of the Lord. So like this, there are many, many examples in which, and this crocodile, he was also a Gandharva. His name was Huhu, we heard. Huhu. And this Huhu, this fellow, he was there in the water taking bath, and there was some another rishi, like Deval Rishi or some. He was there, he was also taking bath, and he went and he started tickling to the leg of Deval Rishi. So notorious, right? So he thought that you are creating nuisance, you are tickling me, going beneath the water. Useless fellow, you become like a crocodile. So we see in the activities of the person who is now, we see why this person is like this. So we should understand there could be history, right? We should tolerate those imperfections, whatever comes in a devotee's life also. Because it could be carrying on from many, many lives. So we see Gajendra was still like, elephant, he took the birth of elephant. So beauty of bhakti is that it sees no bound. Bhakti is such powerful that no matter whatever quality we have, either we have quality or no quality, Bhakti is the process of directly approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there are examples as such. Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned in his Padyavali sloka. I want to just read this very beautiful sloka. Vyadhasya acharanam dhruvasya cha vayo vidya gajendrasya ka. He's telling that Vyadhasya acharanam, what was the character, what was the behavior of Vyadha? Vyadha means the Mrigari hunter. Ka cha vayo vidya gajendrasya ka. Dhruvasya ka vayo. And how old was Dhruva? Dhruva was just 5 years old. And what was vidya for Gajendra? How much knowledgeable Gajendra was? Kubjasya kimmu namarupam. Kubja, what he had, his beauty, and how was his name? Name was also not so beautiful. Like sometimes Srila Prabhupada gives that somebody is very ugly, but his name is something used. Prem Parama Sundari or something like that. And he don't have any eyes, but his name is Nayana Sukh. So, but in Kubja's case, she was not so beautiful and her name was also not so. So Kubjasya kimu nama rupam adhikam kim tad Sudama dhanam. And how much money Sudama had? Adhikam kim tad Sudama dhanam. Then it says, Vamsa kim Vidurasya. What was the Vansa, the dynasty of Vidura? He was from a Shudra family, Shudra mother. Yūtha-patir Ugrasya kim uru-paruṣam. And Ugrasena had what Purusha? He was no power in front of Kansa, he was a powerless, this fellow was put into jail. But because these all people that took shelter of bhakti, bhaktya tushyati kevala nacha guner bhakti priyo madhavam. So this devotional service is something which qualifies everyone, whether one is having any quality or not. So by doing this, performing the devotional service, the direct reciprocation with the Lord, it removes all the disqualifications, so-called mundane disqualifications, and awards the person which ordinarily cannot be achieved. That's what we see. That's what it happened with Gajendra. So bhakti, the process of bhakti is very, very powerful. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Supreme Lord is most merciful. Supreme Lord. He sees anybody comes in distressful condition, his first priority is to give him protection. That's Srila Prabhupada tells here. That it's promise of Supreme Lord that name bhakta pranashyati. I will surely protect my devotee. And just one sloka before, Srila Rupa Goswami gives another very beautiful sloka. He tells, Vatsalyad abhaya pradhana samayad ārtaḥ nirvapanad audaryad agashosanad agashriyas pada prapanad sevyam cha patir eva sarva jagatam ete yatas shakshinav pralada cha vibhishana cha kari rata panchali ahilya dhruva. So all these personalities were always they're in distressful condition, and they were in full distressful condition. It was like too much, and they immediately took shelter of Supreme Lord. And what is the quality of Supreme Lord? Vatsalya. He is Bhakta Vatsalya. This is the quality of Supreme Lord. That as soon as his devotees cries, just like Gajendra, he cries here. Akhila-loka-nātha. He directly doesn't say any name of the Lord. He says, what is that sloka here? He says that tīrtha āhedam ādi-puruṣa akhila-loka-nātha. O ādi-puruṣa, O akhila-loka-nātha, tīrtha-śravaḥ, śravaṇa-maṅgala. So 1,000 years he took, but he was praying. Acharya said that sometimes people were confused. Demigods were also saying, because that was the heavenly planet and demigods were quite very easily accessible. They would be roaming around here and there, what's happening in the jungle. So they were thinking that to whom this fellow is asking, because he was not singing any primary name of the Lord. He would have chanted, O Krishna, O Rama, then Rama and Krishna immediately would come. So he was chanting these indirect names. But Lord thought that this fellow is actually chanting my name only. He could not be no other demigod. So nāma-dheya, tīrtha-śravaḥ, śravaṇa-maṅgala, they are my name only. I should immediately go. So Supreme Lord is so conscious because his devotees, every living entity is conscious. But when living entity becomes conscious of Krishna, then he becomes 100 times, even more, millions of times more conscious. That this person, I think he is calling me. I think he is calling me. This is called Vinama-bhas. We see the Supreme Lord is conscious of the name. Even somebody chants haram, he is immediately conscious. Oh, this person had chanted my name. Somebody says, Raju mat mar. So when he says Ra, immediately Lord becomes very much conscious. This fellow is going to chant my name Ram, I think. But he finds Ra, Jew. What this fellow is put Jew here. Then again he says mat mar. Then he says ma again. Oh, just Jew is there in between. This is, I'm not saying this is Haridas Thakur and the conversation with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is also a nama-bhas. But only there is a discrepancy of the vocabulary inside. So we see Supreme Lord is so merciful. Anybody who chants with direct names, like we do chant every day, with desperate calling every day early morning, rising, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So can we imagine how much of Mangala is awaiting for all of us? So we should be fully confident while chanting the holy names of the Lord. And if any distress comes, then we should take it to be very positive. And usually what happens, people, they immediately leave. And we have given some, like, if somebody takes up chanting the holy name, and some distress comes, then they simply leave Krishna consciousness. They say, oh, Prabhuji, it's so much problem, I got some cough and cold, so I'm not able to chant. In the beginning it happens, but slowly what happens, devotees, in association of devotees, they matures in Krishna consciousness. So when the distress comes, they take shelter of Krishna more intensely. And in this way, one could be very, very sure that one will be delivered from this material tabernacle. And his life will be a success. Today is also Srila Vrindavan Thakur's Tirupavatithi, so I was told to speak something about Srila Vrindavan Thakur Mahasaya. So Srila Vrindavan Thakur Mahasaya took birth in Bengal. There's a place called Kumarhatta here. This place called Kachrapada, everybody know. Kachrapada, there is a station coming from Sialda to this place, Krishnanagar. There is a station called Kachrapada. So there, Srila Vrindavan Thakur took birth from the womb of one of the most celebrated associate of the Lord, Narayani Devi. So there was also, that's the place where Srivas Thakur's house is still there in Kachrapada. So Srivas Thakur house is here also. Srivas Thakur house is in Bangladesh also, in Sylhet. And Srivas Thakur house is also there in Kachrapada. So Narayani is Mother Kilimbika in the Krishna Lila, right? In Dwapara Yuga, Mother Kilimbika. Maid servant of one of the maid servant of Yashoda Maiya, her name was Ambika, and younger sister name was Kilimbika. So Narayani, when she was just 4-year-old, and she was the niece of Srivas Pandit, and there is a very beautiful pastime. The Srivas Pandit was like very fearful because of false rumor being spread in Navadip that you people are doing Harinam Sankirtan day and night, and this is creating so much disturbance, and Sanatan Dharma is being ruined because of your Harinam Sankirtan, loud Harinam Sankirtan. No Shastra tells that one should do Harinam Sankirtan loudly. And Kaji will surely going to create havoc upon us. And he is going to send 2 boats filled with police, and he will create. So Srivas Thakur is very simple devotee. He was really very fearful. He was thinking that really so much problem going to be created because of me. He was so fearful. Then he told to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is what is going to happen, what to do. So Mahaprabhu tells, Srivas, why are you fearing? I have come myself to establish Harinam Sankirtana. Let me see who is coming. Constables are going to come, 2 boats are going to come. Let this Kaji himself come and I will go. I will be arrested, okay? You don't worry. I will go and get arrested myself first. I will go in the court of that Kaji and I will see in front of him, and by my power I will let him chant the holy name and roll on the ground. Okay? Do you believe me? If you don't believe me, see now. So Narayani was there sitting down. Mahaprabhu tells, Narayani, chant Hare Krishna. And Narayani chanted Hare Krishna. And immediately she chanted, danced, fell down crying tears. And there was like, from Narayani's eyes, there was like a stream of water coming out from her eyes. Do you understand now, Srivas? For what mission I have come? So don't worry. So she was Narayani, she had also accepted the remnant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Mahaprabhu took sannyas in year 1509. So Narayani got married somewhere when she was just 15 years old. So there is no mentioning of which year exactly took birth, Vrindavan Das Thakur took birth, but we can see that if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have taken sannyas, suppose 1509, then after 10 years, Narayani Devi would be somewhere around 15 years, right? So maybe Vrindavan Das Thakur took birth somewhere in 1519 or something, yeah, so like that. So Vrindavan Das Thakur, somehow he didn't have darshan of the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he was very dear associate of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And because of Lord Nityananda Prabhu's instruction, he compiled this Chaitanya Bhagavata. And he was staying here in Navadip, in Mamagachi. Nityananda Prabhu once, he was visiting to the different places for preaching, because Nityananda Prabhu has been given this instruction to preach in Bengal by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So just he was moving along with his devotees, and there was one person in the place is called Dhenur. I think all of you had visited there, Dhenur. It is there in Bardhaman. So Dhenur is the place where Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur wrote all the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu along with his associates, and there was Vrindavan Das Thakur also there, they were going Harinam Sankirtan. There was a person, Ram Prasad. So he wanted to have darshan of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. I had never seen him. So every day he was praying to the Lord, when I will see my dear Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So he just, Nityananda Prabhu, knowing this, so Lord went along with his devotees to Dhenur, and Lord told Vrindavan, you just be here. Don't leave this place, Dhenur. Here all of your desires will get fulfilled, and sit here and write the glories of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we visited there. Still that place is there, where Vrindavan Das Thakur's deities, Nitai is there, and there he wrote Sri Chaitanya Mangal, previously known as Chaitanya Mangal. Later on, it was named Chaitanya Bhagavat. So Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahasaya ki. So I like to stop here. If you have any question, any query, any comment, you can speak. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, in Dhenur, that regarding the Haritaki tree, regarding that, you know any pastimes?
Haritaki pastimes.
Haritaki tree.
Yes, this is happening in Dhenur. Yeah, that tree is still there. So this Prabhuji very nicely mentioned this. So Nityananda Prabhu have accepted prasadam, and he immediately called for some Haritaki. So Vrindavan Das Thakur immediately took out some Haritaki and gave. I told, from where you got it? So he told, I just kept it for, because I was knowing that you will need this in future. Yeah, that. Yes. So that tree is still there. Yeah, that tree, the original tree is still there. Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
You said a lot about how distress is a good thing. We've heard that for many years. Queen Kunti prayed for distress. Distress removes your karma. Distress is so good. But it doesn't feel good. It just feels like distress. So is distress any less distressful if we think of it in philosophical context, or is it just misery like it really is?
So far I understand that you're asking that is it just a philosophical concept or is it really practical for our life?
Yeah, like some of us get a heat rash every summer here in Mayapur. It's just it's very painful. It's just distress. So we can think, we hear in class about how distress is a good thing, but actually we experience distress. It feels like distress.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. So distress is of course good for the soul. For the body it will be always painful. For the body is always painful. Distress is always good for the soul, but those who are Sukritivan, they surely take shelter of the Lord. That's just having little distress, they are getting Paramartha, the top class gain. But those who are not able to take the positive consequence of the distress, they are actually sufferers, real sufferers they are. So for them it's not good, it's not so good. Ultimately they are just chewing the chew, they are getting suffering, they are doing again enjoying the life so-called, and then again getting suffering, to get suffering. So this is actually a problem for them. But for those who are progressive bhaktas, devotees, for them distress is of course, they also, unless one is on the level of Kunti Maharani, is not always sought for. But at least we understand, okay, Lord, you are so merciful, you have given me this opportunity to remember you. So this, at least one should come to this platform. Otherwise, one has lower platform of, okay, matra sparsashtu kaunte shitoshna sukha dukkhada. So this is the lowest platform. At least one should be in that position, tolerating it. Because misery and happiness is like duality, it will come and go. So we see, otherwise if one is not in either of these three levels, then misery is of course not good for him. Dvaita bhadra bhadra duito saman. Ei bhalo, ei bando, sab manodharma. So whatever is good, whatever is bad, unless one is surrendering to the Supreme Lord, all are bad. So distress is bad for them. So far I understand. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bro. Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Mangal, two different grantha. Because yes, Krishna Das Kaviraj wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vrindavan Das wrote Chaitanya Mangal, two different.
Yes, Prabhuji. Chaitanya Mangal, previously Chaitanya Bhagavat, now what is known to be Chaitanya Bhagavat, that was named Chaitanya Mangal. So later on, another treatise was written by Sri Lochan Das Thakur, and that was named to be Chaitanya Mangal. And Chaitanya Charitamrita, of course, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Bhagavati is of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. So how the names got changed, I am not exactly when it happened and who did these changes of name. So it's open forum question. But all of these books are different books. All are different books. Chaitanya Bhagavat is given by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahasaya, and Chaitanya Charitamrita Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, and Chaitanya Mangal by Sri Lochana Das Thakur. All are three different books. Okay, so we shall stop here. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Srimad Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.